Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience.
When praises go up, do I have some praisers still left on this Sunday afternoon? Break out your praise right quick and let this witch know, let this demon or devil know.
Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience.
Well, it's a great day to be alive, and this is the Bishop. This is the greater experience. Our Tuesday night church online faith movement, and we're back again. I'm so excited about what God has for us and what He is doing in us and about us. I've been praying for you and what our world and our nation, what our communities and our cities are going through. Over 40,000 people have met their demise, and over 1 million have been impacted by this across the globe. And yet we have a God who is still in control. And that's the reason why I've been led by the Holy Spirit to minister to you and countless numbers of others in this series entitled The Right to Choose the Life You Want to Live. Choose the life that you want to live. Choose the life that you want to live. And I want to thank all of our faith partners, our members of the Greater First Church, and those of you who have partnered with us. I want to thank you. And even on tonight, as I'm sharing tonight, you can contribute because you're sowing into good ground. You're giving us the opportunity and the advantage of meeting hurting people where they are. So while I'm sharing tonight, you can go to Bishop Tavis Grant, the number 2.org/donations. And you can go to the Cash App, $ Greater First Church. Or you can give by phone, 219-267-0940, 219-267-0940. I'm asking 50 for $20 tonight. I'm asking 50 partners $20, a $20 seed. 50 of you that will be faithful while I'm ministering. You go to your Cash App, go to your iPhone, your Android, go to your tablet, go to your phone, 219-267-0940. I'm sharing from Matthew chapter 12, verse number 13, where Jesus talks about the value of a person. Is not this man more valuable than your sheep? And then he questions whether or not it's lawful to do good on the Sabbath. The Sabbath, according to the law, was a day of rest. You weren't allowed to do work, and the religious order saw signs, wonders, and miracles and ministry they saw it as work. They questioned, challenged, and confronted the work and ministry of Jesus Christ and whether or not he would heal this man on the Sabbath. And Jesus tells the man to do something he had never done, to get something he had never received, to see something he had never saw. Stretch forth your hand. Do you not know how many of us God is saying to us in one way or another, stretch forth your hand? He's challenging us. Because sometimes you got to accept that a hard fall creates a high bounce. And it's all contingent on what you're made of. You know, hot water impacts people differently. If you put a tea bag in hot water, it gets soft. You put an egg in hot water, it gets hard. But if you put coffee in hot water, the aroma fills the atmosphere and quenches the thirst and the taste of the receiver. How has these times, how have these incidents in our world, on this people planet, how have they affected you? Have they made you soft? Have they made you too hard to deal with? Or have you become a person that people look forward to because of your value, because of what you are made of and made for? I choose to believe the reason why we're alive at a time like this is that we were made for times like these. And that God is showing us something that he already knows. This is what the writer says: when I come forth, I'm going to come forth just like pure gold. Why is that? Because he knows the way that I take. And there is nothing that we are yet encountering right now is a surprise to God. It's a mystery to God. I'm telling you, he's got a plan. One of the things you got to do is in choosing the life you want to live, you might want to write this down, take a note. You got to learn how to restart your life by saying hello to a new opportunity. Why don't you try it? Why don't you try it? You're sitting in your living room, you're sitting in a boardroom, you're sitting in a classroom, you're sitting in a room somewhere, you're watching us by Facebook, you're watching us by way of our website, you're watching us on YouTube. Why don't you just say it wherever you are? Don't pay any attention to who's sitting there with you. Just say hello. What a refreshing refrain it would be to unleash this salutation from your spirit, from your mind, from your soul, for the new opportunities God is bringing our way. Hello. Hello, 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 good day. Hello, great day. Hello, another day. Hello, another opportunity. Hello, miracle. Hello, destiny. Hello, purpose. Hello, potential. Hello, brighter day. I've been looking for a brighter day, and here it is. And sometimes you have to keep saying hello until you get a response. I don't care what you have had to face and what you've had to deal with. Behind every goodbye is a new hello. And your value as a believer rests in how you respond and how you react to the opportunities of God refreshing, rebuilding, and giving you an opportunity to recapture what you thought you lost. Because I don't know if you know it or not. They haven't put it on CNBC. They haven't put it on MSNBC. They haven't put it on CNN. But I'll tell you ahead of time, here's some breaking news. In the end, we win. Restarting is the best way to renounce what didn't happen, what couldn't happen, and what shouldn't have happened in your life. You're restarting and renouncing the past by saying hello to a brand new future. Stretch forth your hand. Apparently, your hand is good enough when you put it in God's hands. Part of this renewal is being challenged and accepting the challenge to live in the present. Listen to this. This statement almost seems unrealistic. But the Bible says, forgetting those things that are behind me, I press towards a call, a clarion call. Somebody I'm ministering to in this moment, God is calling your name. God is calling forth your dream. God is calling forth your purpose. You can't move forward by looking backwards. You got to accept the challenge of living in the present. Do you know how magnificent this very moment is for you and I to be gathered together for such a time as this? And right now, while we are together, God is working something out for us. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things that have never been seen. God operates in the now. It is his space. It is his domain. It is his arena. It is a realm where all things are possible. Why put off today for tomorrow when today is your present? You see, in times like these, we often get caught in remembering and reminiscing instead of using expectation and anticipation to set forth a welcoming of a brand new future. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it in the hearts of men what you shall be, because you and I and countless millions still have a future. The future doesn't come out of your past. The future is birthed out of you living in the present. My pastor used to say, if you had 60 seconds to live, how would you praise God? And sometimes you've got to live your next day like your last day. You got to put everything in those 24 hours, almost like a deposit, almost like an investment, almost like a supernatural engagement where you're like Jacob. I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. You ought to be telling every day of your life, I'm not going to let you go. I'm not going to finish. I'm not through until I get my blessing. And there's always an excuse to hold back. There's always an excuse to hold off. There's always an excuse to hold out. But I came to tell you, believer, there's no better time than now to release your dream. There's no better time than now to release your faith. There's no better time than now to speak light into your darkness. You know, I'm a note taker, and so I brought my notepad with me, and I'm not the greatest of individuals that try to memorize a whole bunch of stuff. And so, you know, if this appears to be a disability to you, so be it. But one of the things I found out is many people don't need a wishbone, they need a backbone. Don't need a wishbone, need a backbone. I wish I could have did this. I wish I could have did. No, you need the backbone to step up, step out, and in many cases, step over what's in your way. You see, faith breeds courage. Courage breeds bravery. And bravery breeds determination. Where you just refuse. What would have happened to this man had he allowed the religious order to tell him, of all days, you can't be healed today? Who told you you can't be healed today? Who told you you can't be healed tonight? Who told you you can't be healed this week, this month, or this year? Who can control your destiny more than God? I got another breaking story. These guys didn't know. See, this Jesus fella's always starting something. He's always creating something. If you hang around, if you were in Jesus' ministry, it was always going to be something, because the law of Moses said you can't do this stuff on the Sabbath. You can't do it on Sunday. And here comes Jesus. Guess what? Changing the rules. Can I release a word to somebody that's watching us, listening to us, engaged with us? God is getting ready to change the rules. I know they're telling you that this usually doesn't happen. I know they're telling you it usually doesn't work out for people like you. I know they're telling you that they've already put the information in the computer, and if they do it again, the computer is going to give the same response. But I have a God who can change the rules. We have a God who can change the rules. You know, they're getting ready to release another $350 trillion. Some people were saying the last batch of money they released 7 days ago, that was it. But guess what? Even as they are releasing this money, they're meeting. You know why? You know why? You know why? Do you know why? Because they're going to have to give up some more money. And these are unprecedented times that require an unconventional faith. And just because it hasn't happened for others doesn't mean it's not going to happen for you. God is changing the rules. He's changing the financial rules. He's changing the health rules. He's changing the cultural rules. He's changing the religious orders. Napoleon Hill said this: do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command. Sometimes you have to start with what you have. Sometimes you have to go with the goers. Sometimes you have to tell God, if I fail, it's going to be your fault. Because I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. It's what I call failing big. If you're going to fail, don't fail like no chump. If you're going to mess up big. I mean, because if it's a big mess, it's got to be a big miracle. And if you're in something right now that's up over your head, you ought to lift up your head to the hills from which cometh our help. Because all of our help comes from the Lord. You know, Winston Churchill said something like this: where you stand is where you sit. Where you stand is where you sit. Every now and then, you ought to read the very first psalm of Psalms. Psalms is in 5 divisions. Psalm number 1. Blessed is the man. It starts out, where you stand is where you'll be blessed. And there are times when you have to make a choice on the life you want to live by using what you have. You see, there's no such thing as perfect weather. There's no such thing as perfect circumstances. There's no such thing as a perfect day or a perfect season. As a matter of fact, some of the most miraculous, magnificent moments in mankind have come out of messy situations. And how we talk, how we think, how we act impacts how we feel and how we respond. And I want to share this with you. I'm going to jump into it a little bit deeper next week. You've got to have a different language for a different lifestyle. You've got to have a different language for a different lifestyle. You will never live above what you speak and what you say. The Bible is right. You shall have what you say. What you confess is what you will possess. What you confess is what you will possess. And how we think, how we talk impacts how we feel, how we act, and how we respond. Just keep talking sick. One way or another, you're going to be sick. Just keep talking depressed, and you'll never have joy. Just keep talking poverty, keep talking broke, keep talking down, and you will never see your life on another level. You know how I got from the west side of Chicago in the middle of a heroin market? I talked my way out of it. I spoke my way out of it. And God has blessed me to travel the world. And I've met men and women of all walks, in all backgrounds, kings and presidents, ambassadors. I've met the highest to the lowest. And I came to tell you, God's word cannot return void unto him. You got to change your language to change your lifestyle. Here's some things. Number one, you got to have a language of possibility. All things are possible for our God. Nothing is too hard for our God. And that's what we've got. Listen, they have no vaccine for this virus. Wait a minute. The economy is upside down. Did you come here, lean in for a second. You may not want everybody to know this. Have you been to a gas station lately? Woo! I filled my car up and almost broke out into a praise dance. The economy is upside down. You mean to tell me you skipped over that verse that said the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just? Do you see all of the things that are coming out of the economy? Let me tell you something. There are times when God will either bring your money up to the price, hush out, or bring the price down to your money. And this is a time of possibility. Number two, write this down. This is a time of accountability. God will not give you a life you cannot live. God will not give you a life you will not live. God will not give you a life you don't want to live. And there are many of us, we're saying one thing but doing another because you won't be accountable. Even at the beginning of our sharing tonight, talk to you about giving, talk to you about contributing. I was so moved. I got a new thing. I got a new thing on my tablet, my iPhone. Because let me tell you something. Laughter is good for your soul. And they probably owe me they're gonna owe me some money because a bunch of y'all either gonna feel good about getting it or get it yourself. I got TikTok. It's not a watch. That's Timex. It's not a watch. It's an app. It has all kind of funny stuff on it. But last night we were watching TikTok, and tears just started welling up in my eyes. This guy pulled up to a drive-through, and the guy came and he said, "How many of y'all in there?" And he told me how many was in there. He said, "Everybody come to the window." And he had a big stack of cash money in rubber bands. And he said, "I want to be a blessing." And he said, "Here, you take 10,000 and you take 10,000. I'm getting emotional while I'm saying, "And you take 10,000 and you take 10,000. He said, "I know there's another somebody back there. Tell him to come up here." And he said, "You take 10,000. He said, "I just want to be a blessing." I said, "Lord, that's me. I want you to let me live a life of not just possibility, but accountability. I want to come out of this season as a blesser. I want to bless some people. And I don't want my name to be on it. I don't want my title to be on it. I don't want to get no notoriety. I want God to get the glory." I don't even know who that man is. But I said to God, since you've done it one time, you can do it again. I was on the phone with a bunch of leaders from the region, and they're getting ready to do a major giveaway. And this thing provoked in my spirit. And before they could get off the call, I said, "Write my name down. I'm getting ready to contribute." Because I want to be accountable. God will not give you resources you won't be accountable for. And so many people look at these food lines. You know why these food pantries are in a crisis? Because there are people who have never had the need to stand in a line and get a box of food. And I told God, if you ever get me out of this line, I've been in those lines. If you ever get me out of this situation, you'll be able to use me and whatever I have to get other people out of the line. So it's a time of possibility, time of accountability. That's why you ought to go to Bishop Tavis Grant, the2.org/donation. That's why you ought to go to Cash App, $ Greater First Church. That's why you ought to give by phone, 219-267-0940. That's why you ought to do it. Why should you do it? Because we're in a time of possibility. We're in a time of accountability. Last but not least, we're in a time of responsibility. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the stores opening back up. I'm not interested in the restaurants opening back up. I'm interested in how God is going to bless us to help hurting people. I'm interested in God investing His gifts in us. And I want to be a good steward. I want to be a great steward. I want to be an earthly investment for the heavenly investor called God. And I want to be responsible. I'm learning how to save. I'm learning how to invest. And I'm learning how to say no. Well, I tell you, my time is almost up. I'm so excited. Can I just give you this last deal? Because there are times when God will make you, challenge you, force you, confront you with doing something you've never done before. I wake up every day telling God, teach me something else. Let me tell you something. I wrote this down. We don't need new ways to fail. The old ones are good enough. We don't need new ways to fail. God is about to give us new ways to succeed, new ways to win, new ways to get the victory. And these religious leaders, their minds were blown away. Their minds were literally shifted on their axis because they couldn't believe that Jesus would heal him by him participating in the process. Stretch forth your hand. Let me help you with something. This season is not about what God is doing for us. It's about what we are doing for God and what we are doing with God. It's about time for the believers to partner with God. This is not a season to try to get God to bless what you're doing. It's time to start doing what God is already blessing. I'm partnering with a group later on, and they're feeding 3,000 people a day. That's what I want to do. That's why you're giving, because I'm partnering with all of these phenomenal means of meeting the needs of people. And there's no greater time than now. A time of possibility, a time of accountability, a time of responsibility. And why not? Why not choose the life you want to live? I'm not going to be paralyzed by the decisions that are made in Washington, D.C. I'm not going to be perplexed by the decisions that are made in our state house. I support all of those people. They have an arduous task, an incredible responsibility on their lives of thousands and thousands of people. But I have a God who is still God. That at the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. And I have made a choice. I made a choice. I want to live the anointed life. And I can just see this man stretching his hand out. Watch this. With no aid or no assistance, he's stretching that hand out, and I can see him in the middle of it. I can see him kind of shaking and kind of wavering, and kind of the tears may be welling up in his eye, and all of a sudden, something he had never done before, he had never imagined. Some years ago, they had an experiment at the University of Chicago. A young woman had lost her arm at the shoulder, and they created this phenomenal prosthesis, and it had to be connected, and it had to be connected by way of her nerve center, and the objective was to use the prosthesis to reconnect, and she would have to learn how to use that part of her body all over again. Listen to me, it was amazing. It was written in all of the medical journals. As soon as they connected that prosthesis, as they were pulling the researchers together, all of a sudden, in her mind was a thought, raise your hand. And out of nowhere, the hand was raised. Another thought was open the hand, open and close. And she started opening and closing. Another thought was wave the hand, and she went. Those three thoughts happened simultaneously. They said, stop, stop, stop. It must be malfunctioning. Stop, 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 stop. What's going on? Are you okay, young lady? Are you okay? She said, I'm okay. She said, but I was thinking to raise my hand. I was thinking to open my hand. I was thinking to wave my hand. And they came to the conclusion that although she had lost her hand and her arm, the thought was still in her mind. Woo! If this was a church, we'd have to run. After all that she had been through, the thought was still in her mind. Who told you to stop thinking that you have a choice? I don't care what the doctors have told you. I know your loved one may be on a ventilator. I know they may be in a long-term care. I know they may be incarcerated. I know they may have gotten a report for cancer or some debilitating. I know he wants a divorce. I know the struggle of having to raise those children, but you still have a choice. That wasn't the last job you're going to ever have. As a matter of fact, God may promote you from a job to an entrepreneur. But you've got to get yourself together and say hello, hello, hello to a brand new destiny and a brand new future, because you can choose the life you want to live. Listen, I got to go. I got to go. I just can't take up all of your time, and I shouldn't. I respect it so much. Can I tell you something? I am praying for you because I believe in you. So many of you are hitting us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Twitter. Man, let me tell you something. I appreciate it. This is a brand new venture for all of us. And it's just good to have you on the other end. And listen, I told you about some of the stuff that we're doing. Some of the things that we do on a regular basis in feeding and ministering to people. And these times we're finding new ways to do it and new opportunities to do it. If you want to join this e-church faith movement, let me help you something. If you're not saved, I'm going to encourage you to give your life to God. And if you don't have a committed place, a place of commitment, I want to invite you to join this faith movement. That's what I'm calling it, a faith movement. People all over the world, all over the country, all over are joining this because this is something that is going to bless many, 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 many people. Bishop Grant the number 2, bishopgrant2.org /donations. Bishop Grant, Bishop Tavis Grant, the number 2.org /donation. Bishop Tavis Grant 2.org /donations. Or Cash App, $ Greater First Church. Or you can give by phone, 219-267-0940. Now, we're in this path to Jubilee. 50 days between Resurrection Sunday and Pentecost. 50 days. And I'm asking 50 of you, 50 for 20. 50 of you to partner with just a $20 seed. You say, why is that? Well, one, you're provoking your faith. That's what, seed, time, and harvest. As long as the earth remains, seed, time, and harvest. One of my colleagues, haven't seen him in years, called me, said, I want to sow. Boy, I was so overwhelmed because he had no idea. Been praying for him and his family. And we get so many testimonies from people saying, Bishop, I sold, I gave, I contributed, I'm a tither. And they see all of these blessings follow them, even overtake them. So 50 is the number of Jubilee. It's the number of Pentecost. Associated with 50 is debt elimination. Associated with 50 is the defeat of disease. Associated with 50 is the elimination of depression. For those 3 reasons alone, you ought to give that $20 seed right now. Go right now, BishopTavisGrant2.org/donations. BishopTavisGrant2.org/donations. Cash App, $ Greater First Church. Or give by phone, 219-267-0940. Now listen, I want you to follow me on Facebook. I want you to share us. I want you to go to Instagram. I want you to go to Twitter. I want you to go to Periscope. I want you to go to YouTube. We got, I told you about our new podcast. I think we're recording several sessions on tomorrow. It's going to be on iTunes. It's going to be on Google Play. It's going to be on all of the podcast platforms. We're doing something incredible Thursday. We're doing something phenomenal on Friday. I mean, we've just got content that we're building this platform, and I'm doing it for you. Well, because I love you, and I want you to grow. One of the things you got to remember, can I leave this with you? Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. Now listen, I'm praying for you. Things are changing, but I want you to grow. Don't forget, 50 for 20. Do it right now. And listen, hit me, send me a note. Let me know. Talk back. Holler at your brother. I want to thank our faithful partners everywhere. St. Ethel, we're praying for you. Tia, Larry, we're praying for you. Regina, we're praying for you. Mother Tompkins, we're praying for you. James Davis, we're praying for you. We are believing God. Faith and fear cannot operate the same space. So fear, you get out of here. Don't you come back. Hey, y'all, I got to go. Love you, and I'll see you real soon. This is your bishop. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. See you then.
Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience.
When praises go up, do I have some praisers still left on this Sunday afternoon? Break out your praise right quick and let this witch know. Let this demon or devil know.
Welcome to Greater First.